of June right now. You have until August the 13th for your application to be complete and submitted. And this will take a bit of time for some of the stations to get through with the environmental review, or maybe your terminal. It might take a little bit longer, and it's going to require the applicant to work with our state environmental or energy coordinators and our state environmental coordinators. So we recommend that while you're working on your SAMs, your DUNS number, your cage code, all that information, trying to get your e-authentication to get your application in to get it started, we recommend that you reach out to our rural energy coordinator. And you're going to submit to them as an applicant your basic project description that Tony just described, which will talk about what's the site purpose, what are the site surroundings, what's the present use of the land, where you're going to be doing your installations, what's your timeline look like, and you're going to submit that to the rural energy coordinator. And they'll work with the state environmental coordinator to determine how in depth will your environmental review need to be. And how are you going to choose which rural energy coordinator you go to? It's going to be based on where your state locations are for your sites. Now, some of these applicants, you're going to have many sites. You're going to be spread over maybe 5, 6 states. Maybe you're going to be all in one state. You're going to choose a state where the majority of the sites are located. If you can't establish a majority, then you're going to choose the location where your headquarters is located.
Okay.
Or maybe it's just a process too of maybe you've worked with a state rural energy coordinator, you know them well, maybe you want to work with them. We're open to that being a little bit fuzzy, but we would like for you to do it in the state where the majority of your sites are going to be located. So you're going to reach out to them, provide them with the project description, but they're going to require in some cases to have a little bit more information attached to the project description. They might need to have information about wetlands, floodplains. They might need to look at a regional map. They might need to look at a site plan. They might need to look at your regional parcel map. They might need to know information about critical habitat that's in the area, or your threatened and endangered species. And then any relevant archaeological or cultural historic preservation issues that might be at the site. So what will happen is the regional energy coordinator will go through what we call a checklist, environmental checklist. And it's not really a form, it's just a worksheet. They're going to work on that with the state environmental coordinator. And then if necessary, they're going to reach out to agencies that are within the state to do consultation. And that could be like your state historic preservation office, or it's going to be your tribal historic preservation office. Some cases, not likely, but some cases they might need to work with Fish and Wildlife. They're going to go through, do the consultations as needed. They'll be submitting the environmental review checklist after they're all satisfied with it, that it's been reviewed. And like I said, on some of these stations, the majority of them, if you're just doing a retrofit of a pump, it's going to be quick. You're not going to have to do a lot. There's going to be categorical exclusions that apply that they can do without the report and the consultation. So they're going to submit that to the national office. We've got Jeff Carpenter on board from Lincoln, Nebraska. He's going to be coordinating and managing all the environmental reviews that come up to the national office that need to have a signature. And the signature is going to be done by our administrator, our Rural Business Cooperative Service Administrator will be doing, that office will be doing the signing. Once we get it signed off, the applicant will get notice from Jeff Carpenter, and we'll also let the regional the rural energy coordinator and the state environmental coordinators know that we've signed off on it. And then it can go straight forward into the application that the environmental review has been done. So there's a process that's been set up.
Yeah.
We're working with our state environmental coordinators and our rural energy coordinators too to make sure that this gets through. Our goal is for it not to be a time lag for your application, again, because we know August the 13th is only a month and a half away.
Right.
And we want to make sure that you get in your application as complete, because if you don't get the environmental review completed, there's no way that your application's completed. And so
Okay.
we were trying to get everybody in who wants to be in. If you've got new construction, if you've got issues with the tank, if you know that your site has a little bit of historic preservation issues, you know it's going to be a longer environmental review, so you need to get started right away.
One of the main things that I'm hearing there is this is something that you'd start with the state energy coordinator. There's the rural energy office in every state and maybe
Right,
county level. I don't know if there is.
right.
But those are the people to reach out to first, and then they will in turn put you in touch with anybody else you need to get in touch with.
They will put you in touch. They'll also have our rural development state environmental coordinators on task too, though, to help you
Okay.
navigate through any state historic preservation offices or tribal offices that you need to navigate through.
What kind of turnaround? I mean, what if you had to guess what that process, how long it takes?
Well, for the easy dispenser, just a new dispenser installation, I mean, that could be a few days. It could
Okay.
easily be turned around in a few days. If you've got to navigate through tribal consultations or through historic preservation consultation at the state level, it's going to take you longer. It could take you up
Okay.
to a month. So
Cool.
it's best to get started on everything right away.
So important point, folks.
Mhm.
If you're doing a new site, better start today. And if you're watching this in the middle of July, it's really today. It's probably yesterday. But it's important. I think that's one of those things from everything else we've heard, maybe number one on the list of things. If you got everything else done and you're waiting for it, get on that environmental thing, because you'd hate to see them tripped up, especially, if you get done with the whole thing, find out there aren't any environmental issues. But the issue was you didn't get everything turned in on time. That would be kind of tragic. So
It would be.
thank you for bringing that up and having us put that way towards the top of our list. If you need more information, go to the USDA HBIIP website or flexfuelforward.com or use the other contact methods shown here. Thanks for following us, and we'll see you next time.